This is a quadratic equation, and we'll solve it using the quadratic formula. But before we start, let's first confirm, is this really a quadratic equation? The standard form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where the highest power of the variable is 2. Now let's compare it with our given equation. We can see it has an x squared term, an x term, and a constant. The highest power of the variable is indeed 2. Also, in a quadratic equation, the coefficient of x squared cannot be 0, and here it is 6. So yes, we can confirm that this is a quadratic equation. Next, we will make sure that the equation is written in its standard form, with x squared on the left, x term in the middle, and constant at the end. If not, move the terms around to write it in the standard form. In the given equation, it is already 1, so we will now move to the solution. We'll solve this equation step by step. Stay with me and you'll master the concept in no time. Let's write the quadratic equation again. Here, the coefficient of x squared is a, the coefficient of x is b, and the constant term is c. We'll use the quadratic formula to solve it, which is written like this. Once we know the values of a, b, and c, we can simply plug them into the formula to calculate the values of x. Now comes the most important step, so give this your full attention. To find the values of a, b, and c, we'll compare the given equation with the standard quadratic equation. Here, the coefficient of x squared is 6, so a equals 6. The coefficient of x is 1, so b equals 1. And finally, the constant term is negative 15, so c equals negative 15. One important thing to remember, and make sure you don't make this mistake, it is to carefully note the signs of the coefficients and the constant term. In the given equation, the coefficient of x squared is positive, the coefficient of x is positive, and the constant term is negative. Always note these signs correctly when assigning the values of a, b, and c. Now we'll substitute the values of a, b, and c into the quadratic formula. The value of b is 1, so let's place it here. Again, we'll use b equals 1, which becomes 1 squared. Next, we keep the negative 4 outside and substitute a equals 6 and c equals negative 15. Finally, in the denominator, we'll put the value of a, which is 6. And next steps are pretty straightforward. It's all about simplification. 1 squared is just 1. Then 4 times 6 times 15 gives us 360. Pay close attention to the signs here. Since we're multiplying two negatives, negative 4 and negative 15, the result becomes positive. Finally, 2 multiplied by 6 gives us 12, which we'll place in the denominator. Let's simplify it further. 1 plus 360 is equal to 361. We can also write 361 as a square of 19. Now, the square of 19 and the square root will cancel, and the answer will be like this. There are two solutions for x, one with the positive value of 19 and the other with the negative value of 19. Let's solve the first solution. It's pretty straightforward. Both the numerator and denominator are divisible by 6, so the fraction simplifies to 3 over 2. For the second solution, both the numerator and denominator are divisible by 4. After dividing, the numerator becomes negative 5 and the denominator becomes 3. So the solution set for the quadratic equation is 3 over 2 and negative 5 over 3.
And that's all for now. Thanks for watching.